Hello everyone. So I just got back from a little treasure hunting trip. I bought a whole lot of stuff. All this stuff was $400. Pretty expensive, but I think it was worth it. I got lots of pistons and blocks and a crankshaft and cylinder head and steering wheel and wheels and tires, and mostly all 350 Chevy and 454 big block Chevy. So I already took some of it out, unloaded some. Got a lot of pistons and connecting rods here. I think this size, looking at it, it's 454 push rods. Some Escalade wheels and tires, two of them. Some wheel and tire for the mower. And some cylinder heads here. These are 350 Chevy cylinder heads. One is a TBI. See how it has that swirl? This swirl. So that had throttle body fuel injection. That's a 80, maybe 88 through 95 or something year model. That swirl is not very good for performance. See, here is a different cylinder head, an older one. I don't know if you can see it very well, but see, there's no swirl, or there's no little ski ramp thing. So that's better. There's another cylinder head that's the best, and it's the Vortec. This one's not Vortec because even though it's closed chamber, see how this is not all the way around circular? It has this little flat part. The Vortec one has a little V right here. So those are really great heads to have. But anyway, here's another cylinder head here, another couple, one or pair. There's another piece of the other one, the other half over, or I guess, that's the left side, that's the right side, even though of course we all know the left and right are the same. There's just two of them. And starter alternator. This is called 10SI alternator. See how it has these little Twinkie shaped slots back here in these holes? The 10SI looks like that and has a steel fan in the front. And here is a 350 Chevy 2-bolt main block. See how it has 2 bolts? This is maybe junk. See, some water froze in here. I guess he had it in the winter and no antifreeze in it, just plain water. Or maybe water with water wetter. But it froze and expanded, and it made a little crack here, and it looks like he tried to put glue, but it's still leaking. So it's probably junk block. Maybe I could grind that and weld it with a nickel rod, who knows. It looks like it tried to push the freeze plug out a little when it froze. But anyway, it's really rusted. It's kind of a shame too, because I don't know if you can see, but there's no ridge in here. So these cylinders are not worn out. Another 350 Chevy block just like it that's destroyed much worse. Again, it froze and ruined it on both sides. So that's junk. Under here we got something really nice. It's probably can't see it too well. 454 cylinder head. See how it has the 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can't see, but on the other side there's 2 more. That's how you know it's big block Chevy. Some pistons. Some of these are pop-up pistons. Pistons and connecting rods. This I'm really excited about. This is a Chevy 400 block. It's the biggest small block Chevy, traditional one. I think these are from maybe 1970 to 1980, and the 3/4 ton vans had it. But you can tell it's a 400 block because see, it has these 2 little holes between each of the cylinders here, and the 350s don't have that. So, well, here's a good example. That's a 350 Chevy and see it doesn't have those holes there. See, this one has it? No, it doesn't. And here's a nice 454 short block, sorta. It's got the 6 bolts per cylinder. It's got some rust damage on the roller lifters, so hopefully that's not too severe. But the crankshaft turns freely. I tried that earlier. And we got some more pistons and connecting rods here. And a whole bunch of more pistons and connecting rods here. And tons of more pistons and connecting rods here. And even more on the other side over there. So I don't know. I wonder if this is over 100 pistons and connecting rods. Something interesting. See, these have this. They don't have the little flat popped out bump. Most of them here. Oh, here's one that has it. See this? So this is the traditional way they made it from 80. Let me think. The TBIs and older have it like this. And then the Vortec, when those came out in 96 or 97, they made them this way, and these are called powdered metal rods. So I think these are slightly lighter. So if you have you're for sure it's a crankshaft from a Vortec, would be best to use it with this rod. Or if you don't, you've got a crankshaft out of a traditional one, you'd use this rod, it'd be best. And I guess if you were buying custom parts or maybe an aftermarket crankshaft, maybe these rods would be better, although if you're doing that, you'd probably buy aftermarket connecting rods anyway. But this is a little bit better because you can balance, the machinist can grind there, where on this one he cannot grind here. And likewise on the other end, there's no spot to grind for balancing. And then this style, on the other end, it does. So, yeah. The rings, looks like, I was noticing the Vortex style has a little bit thinner ring. And a lot of these looks probably usable. This is some kind of aftermarket piston. This one, look, it's got some kind of black on the sides. So that's nice. Then there's this red engine here. This is a 350. I think it's a TBI 350. And there's an oil pan for the 454, which goes to that engine right there. And that cylinder head is, I don't know, I think that's maybe a 454 cylinder head. There's a 454 exhaust manifold. I have 2 of those, so that was good. And here's another cylinder head. This turns, looks like it's nice. This cylinder head I think is oh yeah, it's a 454 cylinder head also. Yeah. So the big block Chevy is I think 366 to 454 is the size in cubic inches range that they made over the years. Oh, other parts. Well, let's look at the other side. Got that steering wheel. I'm glad to have this steering wheel. I actually was gonna think about buying one for one of those other cars over there, but I'll just use this one. And there's a timing chain cover here. Another exhaust manifold. Some more piston and connecting rods. Oh, and here's a sealed power piston for something. See, it's got that little lightning bolt. So, yeah, that's a really good part. Expensive stuff. Some of these are oversized. See, like this one here, I don't know if you can read that, but right where my finger says, it says 040, so it's 40 thousandths of an inch oversized diameter. That's handy to have. If I want to machine some of this stuff and rebuild the block, don't have to buy new oversized pistons. I can just maybe dig through this and find them here. Yeah, that one rubbed the black stuff off, sorta. It also says plus 40. I don't know if you can read that. Right where my thumb is, right there, just above a fingernail. Anyway. Oh, and that dot. See that dot right there? That means put that towards the front of the engine when you put it together, or else you'll get a bad slapping noise. And here's some neat alternator. I guess it's maybe a boat type part. I haven't seen one that looks quite like that before. More piston and connecting rod. Another piston over here. Some flex plates over here for a 350 or a bunch of, don't know, hoses or something. Pistons here. Wow, look at that. That's very domed, the piston. Maybe too much dome. Might have to use premium fuel or racing gas or something. And lots of more pistons over here and connecting rods, so that's great. I didn't even know that he had all this piston and connecting rod. On his ad, he just said that he had the 454 short block and the 350 Chevy with the heads and the 400 Chevy. So also I got the 350 block and all this other stuff. He was doing I think selling the house and emptying everything. And then the other parts that I unloaded already. Oh, I don't know if yeah, here's two crankshafts that I got with all the stuff. This one, let's see, this one here is the 454 crankshaft. It looks to be really good condition. And the one above it looks to be even better condition. It's a 350 crankshaft. It's a one-piece rear main. See how it has this big chunk here? So that came from either a TBI or a Vortec, something like that. Or it could have come from one of those tuned port injection, if you've heard of those. And I got these two flex plates. I guess one, these might be, maybe these are, I don't know what these are exactly. I guess these are for one-piece rear main, because it's got this weight on it. Yeah, it would be. Okay. And what else? I got this carburetor here, and a really nice collection of valve covers. I might put these valve covers on this truck here. Maybe put those red ones on it. Those look great. And so the traditional 350 Chevy gets these valve covers with these 4 holes, the ones that had the 2-piece rear main seal. And then the newer ones, like the TBI and the Vortec, get valve covers like these. See how the bolt holes are in the middle. And I got a lot of those. All this stuff I got all at once from that person. So, and then these valve covers are really interesting. These are not from these are basically from, it's called a Vortec 8.1 liter, which is also called it's what came after the 454 briefly. It was the 3 or the 496, I think, cubic inch. And it's got these ribs like the Vortec 454, but it has these little coils on top. But anyway, you can use these on the traditional 454s, and I like them because they have, I think, a better gasket here, a nice little rubber thing that doesn't rip away when you take it off, and it's got the bolts, and it's really great. So that's this style, and see, this is the style just before this style, the Vortec 454. You can see the little groove here, and the little, looks kind of like an O-ring thing, seal. They're cast aluminum. So I got, let's see, one pair here, another one, another couple, another. So that's 454 engines worth of valve covers. And in the small block Chevy, there's a pair here of the old style, and then lots of the other. And then some rocker arms. I was looking at these rocker arms. I think these are for the 454 because these are screw-in, and I remember the 454s that get this kind of valve cover, they have this kind of valve train in it. It's a little threaded part, and then a shoulder, and then a smooth part. So most of these are in pretty good shape. This might be a little too worn out, but maybe not. And lastly, here's another box of goodies. I was trying to figure out what kind of main caps these are. I think maybe they're big block Chevy main caps. It says GM T18, and above that it says 0818. So maybe I'll measure these and try to figure out what these go to. The man that sold me all this stuff, he said he thought these might be Chevy 400 main caps, but I'm not for sure about that. And he wasn't really sure, I don't think either. And some more. Ooh, these are very dished pistons. Look there. Really low compression. Something else funny, when we were digging all this stuff up, we loaded everything and then emptied some buckets with these piston and connecting rod, and there was a rat, and she was giving birth to rats, and well, we just dumped all the stuff out, and I don't know, I guess that mother rat really startled this guy, the person selling me all this stuff, and he was really jumping, and yeah, it was kind of scary. So, and then when we dumped one of them out, or one of the buckets, it was a different bucket, and it had several baby rats in it, and we didn't know, we were trying to reach in for the parts, but we thought we'd get bit, so we just dumped it all out, and then they just kind of scurried everywhere. So I guess watch out for rats when you're digging through buckets of pistons. They really like to just stay right in that crevice right there for some reason. It's strange. You'd think they wouldn't want to just rub around in the oil, but they don't care. Okay, so the last... oh, look here. So this last stuff, this is a 350 Chevy intake manifold, and next to it we got the 454 intake manifold, both for quadrajet. And see, something I kind of like about this is it's got these two holes here near the thermostat hole, and it's got two more holes just like it at the back, and then two more holes in the middle, but it's got an additional hole here and here. And some of the aftermarket intake manifold don't have these two extra holes, but I really like it because if you put this on and it rains, I'm just not so sure. Maybe some of the water could spiral in through the thread and get in there. But I think if it's like this, it might be more resistant. So, okay, there's the goodies. I'm gonna continue and take this out and organize it, and hopefully make progress on all of our cars and videos and everything. Okay.